31-31, everyone. God, this feels so good. That was smooth. Let's be honest, if you've been on Bruins Twitter at all this past week or so, you know that this win was absolutely imperative. And this one, and God willing, we did it. So, Bruins fans, it is not dying out! Because that is a 3-2 victory over the Edmonton Oilers, presenting the Bruins with their with a win over their 31st different opponent this season. That's right. We have beaten every other team in the league. It feels so good to say that. Especially because of this one punk ass motherfucker. This one punk ass on Twitter. At Oilers Analytics. Shut up. Just shut up. For those of you who don't know, for those of the uninitiated, let me regale you in a little bit of a story. And it's a fun story. And you know it's a fun story because Brad Marchand Marchand's Twitter presence gets involved here. So what's the context of this little Twitter beef? Well, it starts with the announcement of where the 2025 NHL All-Star game and festivities will be held. According to Puck Empire, the 2025 All-Star game will be the main candidates are Seattle, Detroit, and Edmonton. And Brad Marchand is he's very not pleased about that, saying, "LOL, can't wait to see how many guys boycott that game." Because of the placement of it. And Brad and the people who love Marchand and just instinctively know that Brad is back at it, and he even says, "I mean, it's true." And I mean, give him credit. I would understand Detroit or Edmonton. I don't know about Seattle. Seattle seems like a really fun city to go to, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Someone tries to dunk on Brad, saying not like you'll be making it anyways, is because I mean, I love Marchand. I don't know. I really don't know when's the last time he was actually in the All-Star game, and he even said, and he's completely fine with that. He even says, "I hope not if it's one of those places." LOL. And this Oiler Analytics guy comes in. And he says something along the lines of, "Oh my God, Brad, you absolute diva. Go paint your nails again, or something like that. Alberta's too tough for you." And Brad just responds with, "Let's put it this way. No one's taking less to stay there," which honestly is true for a number of reasons. That number is honestly 2. Oh, there are 2 reasons. First of all, is Canada a lot of taxable income in Canada? A lot of your income is taxable in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I hope to God I'm not wrong on that. But if I'm wrong, someone please correct me on that one. And second of all, it's freaking cold. You know how Tampa's able to get so much talent? Because a lot less of your income gets taxed in Florida, and like, who wouldn't want to play hockey and then step outside and just hang out in the freaking sun the rest of the day? That sounds like the freaking dream. That sounds like awesome. But this Oiler Analytics guy, after this, makes hating the Bruins his whole. It's just his whole persona for the rest of the week. It starts with, "This little rat doesn't know his facts. Several players on the Oilers took less. Your bum ass has 17 goals at $6 million. Doesn't look like you took less for Boston." And like, you could kind of say that about Edmonton. You could say that some players may have taken in a discount for Edmonton. I feel like honestly, Coyote Yamamoto could. But honestly, actually no. Looking at their cap ranking right now, no. Nobody took a freaking discount. Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as good as they are, I don't really think that they're worth over $5 million. Same with Evander Kane. And Darnell Nurse freaking $9.25 million until 2030, and then Jack Campbell should be arrested for grand larceny. There's no reason that man should be getting $5 million from the Oilers. So no, nobody takes a discount for Edmonton. And he made tweets like this the entire rest of the week, just trying to be like, Boston fans, they root for such a shit team. Brad Marchand is such a bad player. The Oilers are gonna absolutely demolish the Bruins. And look what happened. Look what happened, bitch ass. Although, to his credit, it did look like it was going in the Oilers' way a little bit early. Grizzly, the healthy scratch for this game to keep Orlov in the lineup. Honestly, I think I'm okay with this. I feel like, honestly, this is gonna get weird. This is definitely gonna feel like maybe there's some. I don't know if there's necessarily another move that we could make, but at the same time, I feel like Orlov could potentially play on all three defensive pairs, which honestly is a good thing. It's a good thing that Orlov could play on all three pairs. I don't know. And I know that Grizzly is kind of inconsistent, but let's be real. A good chunk of the players on this defense are kind of inconsistent. For as much as this team would suffer without them in the lineup, even McAvoy and Lindholm have their off nights sometimes. So honestly, it kind of is refreshing to see someone else, out of the lineup who's kind of inconsistent, but at the same time, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Grizzly does offer something really good for this team. But anyway, what was I talking about? The way that the Bruins gave this up kind of early. Bruins obviously play way too far up because I mean that's sort of our MO nowadays. Draisaitl just launches a pass all the way up to the top of the neutral zone for McDavid, and he just walks in and scores from the face-off dot. And while on the one hand, the defense has to play that. The defense has to own their mistake there. I feel like Swayman has had that shot get taken at him several times, and he should absolutely needs to save that. Like, it's not like the second goal that he gives up here where honestly I don't see where honestly that is entirely defense. But Swayman, come on. You've had that shot before. You can save that shit. But just 13 seconds later, Orlov against the boards. He's trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone. He forechecks it up to Hathaway. It bounces off his stick, goes right onto Nosek, who's at the top of the crease, and he just puts it past Stuart Skinner to tie the game at 1, and also deliver onto both Dmitry Orlov and Garnet Hathaway their first points as Boston Bruins. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team, boys. You're gonna love it. Anyway, a little bit later, Marchand ends up getting hurt. I don't know what happens, but he goes down the tunnel. He's back a few minutes later, but he ends up getting taken out of the game for a little bit. And while he's out, Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard just fly into the offensive zone, and this should be the 2-1 shot for Kyler Yamamoto. He completely botches it. You know that one shot that Pastrnak had against the Islanders in the bubble. You know that one. You know that one shot. We all know that shot, and we hated that, and we hated watching that shot. But we love seeing it from Kyler Yamamoto. He completely freaking blows it. And a little bit later, Oilers cosplaying the Bruins for a little bit because they also play way too high up, way too far up in the offensive zone, allowing for the Bruins to clear it. Coyle and Foligno takes the puck. He's running into the offensive zone. As soon as he enters, he passes it to Coyle. Coyle forechecks it up to him, and he puts it past Skinner. 2-1 game. You could possibly argue that this is offsides, but they end up dropping the puck before Jay Woodcroft decides to get his head out of his ass and challenge the play, so they can't challenge the play, and it stays 2-1. And Marchand is back before the end of the period. Second period is one that absolutely hooked me. You get it? Cause there were 4 penalties in this period, and 3 of them were for holding, and 3 of them were for hooking. Let's start off. Lindholm ends up getting the first penalty of the game, a holding, and it is a juggernaut match of special teams. Bruins have the best penalty kill in the league versus the Oilers, who have the best power play in the league, and the Bruins end up coming out on top of it with killing it fantastically. Next up, Klim Kostin, a man who's very, very adept at costing the Oilers' lost games. I'm gonna kill myself for making that pun. He ends up going for hooking Clifton, so Kostin ends up going for hooking Clifton, and this is not as much as a juggernaut match. The Bruins still have the 7th best power play in the league. Oilers have the 25th best penalty kill. They are near the bottom of the PK. A little bit later, Bergeron ends up going for hooking to put to give us a minute 13 of 4-on-4, and then we get a third freaking penalty here. This time on Yamamoto, also for hooking. A 5-on-4, a 4-on-4, and then a 4-on-3, all culminate, all off of strictly hooking penalties. And this one happened very soon after the 4-on-4. So this ends up after the as just a little bit of a 4-on-3, and the majority of it is on a 4-on-4. And here is where Kostin's penalty ends up dying, and we end up getting the second goal for the Oilers here. And this is where the defense just completely falls apart. The Bruins defense is not guarding the defensive zone. They are not at all back on defense, as Cody Ceci just wraps. Or actually, no, there is one player on the Bruins in the defensive zone, and that's Charlie McAvoy. Charlie McAvoy, absolutely fantastic player. He is doing everything that he can to give Cody Ceci the worst time of his life, but that does not deny the fact that that Connor McDavid is right up the freaking middle, and oh god, Cody Ceci is passing to him. Oh my god, it's Swayman. Oh, that's the second goal. Again, I don't blame Swayman. There is no reason that Swayman should have had to make that a save there. Anyway, with about 30 seconds left to go in the period, during a period where it definitely felt like it was very evenly matched this period. A pass ends up on Zaka's stick. He and Cody Ceci are like right back to back. He puts it through Ceci's his legs, turns around and puts it past Stuart Skinner. This dude didn't even need to move, and he just completely undressed Cody Ceci. In fact, you know what? We're doing it. Bring in the hockey stat cards. Bring in the hockey stat cards. Now this This is what I'm talking about. The Bruins barely even tried with their top guys. Look at that: Pasternak, Lindholm, McAvoy, Bergeron, Carlo, Marchand, Krejci, all near the bottom. The best player in like the top 5 for the Bruins is freaking Jake DeBrusk. Yes. That's it. Everybody else, pretty much from that top 6, had pretty mid games, except for like freaking Pavel Zacha. That's it. The Bruins barely even needed to try to win. And in this corner, what do we got? What do we got for the Oilers? Oh, that's ugly. That is ugly. I feel like it should absolutely be noted that Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse, the 2 worst players for the Oilers tonight, that's their top pair. Darnell Nurse is making $9.25 million to play that badly. What does he do that I don't? 60 minutes in a 3 overtime game? Unimaginable riz? An actual will to live? Can someone please explain to me what Darnell Nurse is doing that I'm not? That means he gets to be paid $9.25 million until 2030 to do absolutely nothing. Anyway, let's go to the third period. Right out of the gate, the Bruins are not playing well. They're giving up a lot of pressure in front of Swayman, and at this point, I'm thinking, oh great, this is gonna go to overtime. This is gonna go to overtime. Bruins end up finding out pretty easily, and everything's going swimmingly until an incident, a really, really bad incident. Klim Kostin, 5 points for 5 minutes for elbowing, except he doesn't. Now, this was called correctly. At least the playback of it was called correctly. That during this, David Krejci got hit in the head with his own stick, and Klim Kostin did not hit David Krejci with his elbow. So, by that logic, this was the correct call. This is the correct call, and it is a good thing that the NHL and it is absolutely a good thing that the National Hockey League decided, you know what, we're going to overturn the call. We're going to overturn the call on this one. We're going to overturn the 5-minute penalty, and we realized that this is not a penalty at all. But oh boy, Klim Kostin. Oh boy, Klim. I don't even know what the hell to say to you. I don't know. Anyway, we go to the 4.150 final 5, and Bergeron gets high stuck. And now he's looking at again. It's Kostin. It's Kostin that goes to the box for 4 of the last 4.5 minutes. For 4 minutes of the last 4.5 minutes in the game, and during this double minor for high sticking, Vincent Desharnais absolutely brick wall. Remember that time in the playoffs last season where Derek Forbort absolutely bricked the hell up and blocked like 8 shots over the course of 1 period or something like that, or like over the course of 1 single penalty kill. Like Derek Forbort decided, you know what, I'm going to turn into Bobby Orr right now. Bobby Orbert. Vincent Desharnais decided, you know what, I'm going to play Derek Forbort for this one. And he ends up on, after the play stoppage, he is trying, actually no, before the play stoppage, he's fighting like hell, and he ends up delivering a really bad slash to the back of Pasternak's back, and he's like, oh my god, what the hell? Oh, and after the play stoppage, he's on the ground. He's got DeBrusk on the knee right next to him, and he's trying to send DeBrusk to the box with him. He wants to get a rise out of DeBrusk, and DeBrusk, I mean, he kind of bites for it, But everybody knows that this is Desarnais' penalty. So we end up with a minute 53 of 5-on-3, and somehow it ends up looking bad. Somehow the Bruins end up looking like garbage on this one, and to the point where the best play was David Krejci interrupting a McDavid-Draisaitl, a freaking McDavid and Draisaitl breakaway on a 5-on-3. That's not something that you should be doing on the when you have two-man advantage. That is something that you should be doing when you are not when you are a man down. Bruins played awful during this power play, but we did enough to keep the Oilers back in their zone. And by the time that the penalty kills were over, it was too late for the Oilers, and whoop-de-doo, we're here. They don't ask how, they ask how many. So we are now at 46-8-5. We have won 3 in a row, and we are and tomorrow, or rather today, we have another one against Calgary. Same province. We're not going too far. At 9 o'clock at night. I can see us sweeping this one. And Calgary has had really bad problems with goaltending, but at the same time, I feel like the Bruins absolutely need to start playing defense a little bit better. There needs to be some sort of practice on their defensive mechanics when they get back. Like during practice, there absolutely needs to be some sort of drills on this. So I think that's it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys. Well, later tonight. Take care.